Welcome everyone for the Code at Home launch. It's a pleasure to be here. I am Deepti Chander, the president of E-mma, and it's been an honor to welcome you for the official launch of Code at Home in India. Today marks a significant milestone in our mission to promote diversity in tech world and provide opportunities for young minds to explore the transformative power of coding. Let's celebrate the incredible launch by sharing using the social network and tagging Code at Home. We believe that technology should be accessible by everyone, regardless the background. And since 2021, with Code at Home initiative, we have been reaching a lot of students who have gone through our coding sessions, and we try as much we can to inspire them to discover the world of programming. Through this program, we are aiming to reach 1 million children and teens over the coming 3 years and providing free coding workshops across multiple cities in India. Today's event is just the beginning, and we are thrilled to have you joining on this journey. Well, don't forget that the journey is not just today, it's a long run. And so feel free to join all the upcoming coding session, and more are going to be there by subscribing to the registration link of Code at Home. I want to take a few moments to say a big thank you for all the support that our partners has bring to us. This launch would not be possible without your support and your dedication. And of course, I would like to say a big thank also to the E-mma team who have worked hard as well with the partners to make this vision a reality. Before we move forward into the panel discussion and the coding session, I would like to introduce few words from the ambassador of France in India, who has been really a great supporter for us since the beginning. And we would like to kick off this event for hearing some words from his side. Let's hear what he has to say.
I'm delighted to open the second edition of Code at Home, an initiative that gives free access to the common language of our century, coding. France is one of the most advanced nations in coding, whether it serves scientific purposes, technological innovation, or the entertainment industry. France has been ranked as the 5th top country in the world on the AI Global Index 2024 and force for development of new AI models and the application of AI technology in patents across other fields. So by choosing to attend these courses, the pupils of India will make the right choice. As the ambassador of France, I'm proud to support this initiative that binds France and India in an unprecedented effort in the field of education. This is the first time that a program of such a scale has attempted to address what is most certainly the biggest potential of the Indian youth. Computer science, AI and coding are the most prized and sought-after education fields in India. Thanks to this initiative, young pupils will develop close ties with France, and this will certainly have an impact on their academic career should they opt one day to study abroad. The French signature in coding and its reputation thrives through schools that have a global footprint and reach, such as Epitech or Epita. With Code at Home, a bridge is being crafted right before us, and it bears the objective of reaching out to 1 million students, for which we are all thankful to the organizers. I hope that this initiative will create new, groundbreaking cooperation across continents between our education and higher education systems, producing new forms of ties up between our countries. In 2026, The Indo-French era of innovation will give shape to our common endeavors in advanced technology. By then, this initiative should be running at full pace. I believe we should already have Code at Home on the agenda of this very special year. I congratulate the organizers, the sponsors, and the students, and I assure you all of France's strong support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. I move forward directly into the panel that you have been waiting for. Before we start the panel, I would like to invite Sanjay. My first question is for Sanjay. So Sanjay, as a leader in one of the largest financial institutions, how do you see the insertion of tech and diversity shaping the future of industry like banking and finance?
Thank you, Dipti. Thank you very much. And thanks to Ambassador for his very good comment as a opening speech. So Dipti, to answer a question, as we all know, technology is a key pillar of all large financial institutions today, and BNP Paribas is no different. It is an essential lever for us to increase operational efficiency and enhance client and employee experiences. So the importance of technology is a given. Given that the technology has the power to solve for problems and societal issues at scale and speed, it is necessity that we keenly look at diversity as the bedrock upon which we ensure innovation, solutions, and a better understanding of the needs of diverse groups. However, like in many other fields, true diversity and inclusion is not as advanced as it should be in BFSI. Financial products and services are still being devised from the lens of historically dominant groups. But I believe that technology, given its inherent democratic nature, can actually be the force of change. And when we hire from diverse groups, we create that. We are already seeing this in our India-based Global Capability Center, which is almost 35% of our workforce is women out of 12,000 plus employees. And we are leading large teams to deliver solutions for internal and external clients globally.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Make clear to me, and I was wondering, and I think maybe Taru, you can jump here. How can then this exposure to technology and coding can help to bridge the gender gap in tech industry and especially in India?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Deepti, and wonderful message from the ambassador. Great to hear his thoughts and the wishes. Just talking about the early exposure to technology and coding, in my opinion, and I strongly believe in this, Deepti, that it can actually be instrumental in bridging the gender gap in India's tech industry in many ways. If I just talk about a few of those ways, to begin with, just demystifying technology and building that confidence in young girls, right, which fosters an interest in STEM fields from a young age and sparking that curiosity. That's like the first, I would say, that the foundation of all of it. And then early coding education also provides a foundation for future learning in computer science and related fields, now which leads to skill development. It teaches logical thinking, problem solving, the skills that are valuable in any field. These are the life skills, but particularly crucial in tech environment. Another one that I can think of is exposure to tech and coding early in life also addresses the societal stereotypes. We all may have experienced, most of us would have experienced this. And I was, moving from a marketing field into cloud, I remember hearing comments around, do you really think you can make it there, given that it's the field is new, but also it's kind of male dominated environment. So yeah, so just addressing societal stereotypes that suggest tech is a male dominated field by showcasing female role models and success stories. So a lot of ways that we can talk about, right, where this early exposure adds a lot of value, not just to the people, not just to the diverse population, but also to the organizations. I believe in Google, I have seen that in my tech team, which is pre-sales team, about 65% of the customer engineering team is women. And that's intentional, right? And it helps me diversify the workforce and creates a more inclusive industry. So early exposure can also help close that gender gap by increasing the representation of women entering into tech and subsequently the workforce. And if I look at this program, right, Code at Home, these programs are just so critical in providing that accessible platform for young girls to learn coding in a very supportive environment, which encourages them to then pursue tech-related careers in future. So yeah, just summarizing this, in my opinion, I truly believe that by continuing to promote early exposure to technology and coding, we can witness a more inclusive and innovative future.
Thank you very much, Taru. And as a managing director of Atal Innovation Mission, I think, Dr. Chintan, you are always with those amazing students and girls and teens. How do you think these efforts in fostering through the Code at Home program can bring more diversity and inclusion in the tech environment, and especially for students to better understand this area, which is for some of them really new?
Yes, indeed. I think, thank you very much. And we love the idea of code at home. At Atal Innovation Mission, through the spaces we have created called the Atal Tinkering Labs, there are 10,000 of them across about 730 plus districts of India. These are spaces where, these are spaces where we would like to reach a point where something that anything that has nothing to do with innovation should be a factor there. So whether it is gender, whether it is geography, whether it is language, these things have nothing to do with creativity. They should stay out of this room. So, and I think something allows us to reach there. Our experience has been that that like it was mentioned earlier, children inherently are they're not born with a bias. They don't really know, oh, this is for a man and this is for a woman and all that. But the other stakeholders who are much older in that environment, teachers, principals, mentors, etc., they've experienced more and they have experienced the bias and so on. So it's really our journey culturally is one of breaking their bias in some ways of the other stakeholders. And I think something like coding really empowers people, when it empowers both, irrespective of their gender, boys and girls. I meet so many young girls who are so empowered because they can code something. They know something that their teacher does not know often, and simple things like that. And I think being able to bring it at home to a large number of people, and we have, as you know, we have a humongous scale here in India that we're trying to reach. I think being able to bring this to them at their home, on their fingertips, will make a big difference. I look forward to this second edition of doing this together.
Thank you, Dr. Chintan. It's a great quote. I think the team listening to you would be more and more encouraged by that. Payal, what unique challenge do you think India and France, we have heard the ambassador, the Indian and French company, and Sanjay is also here, part of BNP, and Manisha, face when trying to improve, I would say, diversity and especially gender equality, and why it is critical for the tech industry?
Thank you so much, Deepti. And firstly, congratulations to you and the entire team at E-mma for this fantastic initiative, which we are so happy and proud to support. And I think this is really where we are making a big difference, for Indian children across the country. And it's just fantastic. So I'm really excited to be here. I think there are a few things. Firstly, what we see from a Chamber of Commerce lens is that companies across the board are really focusing on diversity and better gender diversity generally. Today, when we look at some of our member companies in the tech industry, we have numbers between 25 to 40% of women employees. So I think that there is progress that's being made, but there's still so much more to do. And of course, why is it important to have a better gender diversity ratio is because, of course, we know the answers. I mean, firstly, huge improvement in organizational performance. This drives better innovation. It creates a huge talent pool in a business landscape today where there is limited availability of skilled talent. And I think, generally speaking, companies become more attractive in terms of, their employability. So it's really a lot of these reasons that are driving, I think, organizations to look at this in a bigger way. For us at the Indo-French Chamber, we're actually 70% women. And, sometimes I have to look at hiring more male candidates to fill in, and to make it 50-50. But I think generally speaking, it really creates much more collaboration. Also, one more thing I'd like to add is within organizations today, I think the drive is really coming from leadership. The tone is being set right at a board level where there's a lot of accountability for the management to really drive this in a bigger way. And of course, there are a number of initiatives that companies come out with, policies that make it more conducive for women and other, of course, communities to join the workforce. So maybe I'll end it there. And just to say once again that we're really happy to be here with you. Thank you, Deepti.
Thank you very much, Payal. I will end up by asking a last question to Manisha. Manisha, as you know, in couple of minutes, many students are gonna go through a coding workshop. And I think you all know, when we were young, we used to have a snake game on our mobile phone. We used to run after the apple which the snake was supposed to eat. So basically, this is what today kids are gonna code. And so, Manisha, from your point of view, as someone leading the communication of BNP Paribas and also part of the corporate social responsibility, how important do you think storytelling is in the changing the narrative about diversity in tech issue, and what role basically those brand communication play into transforming maybe mindset, maybe the society vision? It's on you.
Thank you, Deepti. And before I answer the question, huge congratulations, to you and your team. 4,000 already enrolled for this is fantastic, and I know this is just the start. Coming back to your question, and I will just pick up from what I think Taru mentioned earlier about, narrative storytelling and finding, relatable icons. I think that applies, to whatever we are doing. And I think, especially in tech, because unfortunately in STEM, we've always positioned role models who, tend to be men or more, male figures, if I would say, or dominant groups. But I think that's changing, and it's changing rapidly. I will open the Times of India the other day, and there was a techies page, and it talked about women leaders in GCCs, for example, right? I think that's universal. And if I were to link it back to the CSR policies, I can speak for BNP Paribas. For us, it's very intentional. We want to focus on underrepresented groups, women and women in rural areas. We do that through our tie-ups. We do that through programs like we're running with you. Today what we are doing is essentially an effort in that direction. And I'm very confident that, when we work together, we build out the ecosystem. So one last point, and I just want to say that it's not just our grants or the communication, but the softest things that we can all do, like what we do at BNP in India. We have girls coming in, who are in their final year of college, and these are in tier 2, tier 3 colleges. We bring them actually to our offices for, let's say, to spend the day, right? And when they come in, they eat in our canteens. They come and see our office spaces. They really are motivated, We go, and then I think that's a starting point. So I will not take too much of, your time and the time of this group. I think the kids are really eager to code, but I think we're all in this together for the long haul, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more success.
Thank you very much, Manisha. Thank you for all the panelists to be here, all the partners to support. I think it's time we leave the hand to our amazing team who are gonna make children's code. But before they code, just wanted to share a few pictures of the last edition students coding from everywhere, classes, homes, everywhere, and sharing their pictures to us. So continue doing that today, so we can show to our partners and we can show to everyone how coding is a skill that everyone can reach to. And thank you very much again. And I pass on to Veronia, who will be leading this coding session along with other people from E-mma team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dipti, for this introduction. So I'm going to share my screen and we can start to code. So here we are. I invite you kids to open the link that the MIT will put it in the chat. So we are going to able to start to code. And then please click on change panels layout. And you have to choose tabs columns. Okay. And then we're gonna choose JavaScript tab. So it's the second tab. There are function game loop. So this file, we're gonna code this file. So please do not touch other tabs like the HTML or the CSS file. We're gonna only code in the JavaScript file. So to start, do you know, guys, what kind of game we're gonna do today? Let me know in the chat. It was, yeah, the snake. You're right, guys. So the snake, just a quick recap. Snake is a video game genre where the player controls a snake that must eat apples to grow without eating itself. So to start, I'm gonna call Edgar to tell us more about what is a function and a condition and start coding our first lines of code. Are you ready, guys, to start this adventure together? So Edgar, are you here? Edgar? Okay, no problem. So I invite you guys before starting to code to click on the run, so the run fiddle, and to press. There are nothing. The snake isn't moved. So to move the snake, we're gonna tap together. So at the second line, so line number 2 in the function game loop, we're gonna write game dot snake dot move. So in this way, the snake gonna move when I press the run button. Is it okay for you guys? So here we see the snake is done. So in the second step, we want the snake to eat the apple, and to eat the apple. So the first step, we're gonna write at line number 4 in the game loop. We're gonna write if it's a condition. So what will be our condition? It will be if the snake touches the apple, so the apple we're gonna disappear, and what will gonna happen? The score will be, if it's 0, it's gonna be 1, and then the snake gonna grow, and the next step that we're gonna add an apple. Okay, so here we go. So if the next block equals to 2, so 2 is the apple. So what happens?
Sorry, Veronia.
Yeah.
Can you increase the size of the police, please?
Yeah, sure. So,
And I think Sebastian raised the hand also.
Hi,
is it
excuse me.
better like this?
Comment ça? Excuse
Yes,
me.
we can
This
hear
is
you.
Edgar. My microphone was actually not working on my computer. Is it okay if I speak from Seb?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So
Maybe
so
Edgar, you can
yeah.
explain again because some students are
Yeah,
struggling. Thank you.
absolutely. Okay, so as we can see right here, if we want to move the snake, so if we press run, Veronica, can you press run for us, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so the snake moves right here. But as you can see, we can't not control it yet. So for that, we're gonna use the second function in the bottom, which is on line number 8 right here. Yeah, could you click in between the curly brackets? Um and then right here we're gonna do something called a switch statement, which allows us to give commands to the snake. So could you write switch right here? And then in between parentheses, we're gonna write um key code, which is key and a capital C for code. Okay, after that, we're gonna open the curly brackets. Okay, and then in between those, we're gonna write case with a tab, and then we're gonna put the value which corresponds to the direction that we want to input for our snake. This direction is given to us in the chart. So for the first direction, we're gonna go left, and this is represented by the value 37. Could you write case 37? Um, and then we're gonna put 2 dots, go back, go down the line, and then um, write break to terminate the case. And then go down another line, and we're gonna do another case for all 4 directions. So the next direction is gonna be up, which is gonna be case 38, and then the same thing, so 2 dots and then break. And for this part, guys, we'll give you a little bit of time to figure out the 2 other directions that you want this snake to move in. All right, so um now um What key? So for the next cases, um, for the going down, we're gonna write case 40 for the down arrow. Uh, another break. Not you need to go back a tabulation for the case number 40. Yeah, and then no, yeah, like that. And then to go right, we're gonna do case 39, 2 dots, break. Okay. So now that we have all directions, we could try and test it pressing run. So Veronica, you press run, please. Okay, now if we press on the keys, the up, down, and right arrow, we can, oh wait, no, not yet. Oops. Okay, so now, as you can see, you cannot move yet because we haven't set the directions of the snake. So we need to add another function, which is going to be the snake dot direction. This is the same schematic, but we're going to implement it into the switch, which is going to be for each direction that we pick. So for the first one, which is 37, which is the left, we're going to do snake dot direction equals 3 because it matches with the left. So snake dot direction is equal to 3. And then going to the other switch, we're going to do snake dot direction is equal to the 38 direction, which is the up, which is 0. So snake dot direction equals 0. And then for the rest of the switches, I'll give you a few minutes to figure out the 2 other directions.
You can do it.
You can what?
You can continue.
Oh, just continue? Okay.
Yes. And
Okay,
Veronia,
so
1 second. Veronia, can you delete the en bas, il y a un espèce de carré là. Voilà, please, can you, thank you.
okay, and then so for the next directions, it's gonna be the same thing. So we have case 40, which as we already know, case 40 is going down. So we're gonna do snake dot direction equals
Edgar,
2. Yeah,
Edgar, sorry. Can you start from the beginning, please?
restart from the directions.
So,
Beginning.
yes, Edgar, we have questions in the chat saying they want a quick recap about all what you said since the beginning, even when Veronia was speaking. If you can give a brief summary, would be great. Thank you.
A brief summary, yeah, for sure. So we have a function that's called game loop and a function that's called key pressed. So the first function, game loop at line 1, we know that it's a function because it starts with the name function, and then we have the function name. So this is the part that makes the snake move. And then after that, we have the other function on line 8, which is called key pressed. And this allows the user to give inputs through a switch using a variable called key code. And when that function is called with the input from the keyboard, the snake can move in different directions, which are up, down, right, and left, defined by the switch, and the direction by the snake dot direction. Was that clear? Or no?
Yes.
Should I continue? Or
Yes, you can continue.
a little? Okay. So, going back to case 40, which as we already know is down, we would do snake dot direction equals 2 for the downward movement. Snake dot direction equals 2. And then for the case 39, we will go under, which is the going right, will be snake dot direction equals 1. Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, Edgar, for learning us what is a function and how it's composed of. Now, as we can see, the snake gonna moves with a key pressed that we defined with Edgar. So I invite you guys to click on the run button on the top of the screen and try to eat an apple. Oh. Oh. So yeah, as we see, I ate the apple, but the apple the score didn't increase, and we have a lot of conditions that are not okay for now. So I invite Saladin that will tell us more about to add more apples and to increase the score. So are you here?
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So as Veronia just said before, now we have to eat the apple in order to grow the snake. So to do that, we have to return on the first function game loop. So after the condition that is already written, so if next block is equal to 2, so what we are gonna do is just write game.remove block with capital B, game dot remove capital B block, open parenthesis, next block with capital B. So it just means that when the snake touch an apple, it will just remove the apple and do nothing from now. So then, if we continue next to this line, we have to increase the score. So we have to write game.score is equal to game.score plus 1. So indeed, that just means that when you eat an apple, the score would increase, but we also need to make grow the snake. So in order to do that, we will just write game.snake.grow and parentheses. So now that we have that, the snake can move, eat an apple, and increase the score, and then grow. But we also need to appear another apple randomly in the map. So in order to do that, we will just write again game.add apple with capital A and parentheses. So as I just said before, it just add an apple randomly in the map. So if you press run, now that you can play with the snake and it will eat the apple.
Okay, so I see that we are progressing very well, guys. So we have time to do some bonuses. So for that, I will call Sebastian. That will tell us how could we do a collision with the snake between with himself and the snake gonna grow depending on the number of points. So, Sebastian, are you here?
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Okay, perfect. So, to make the snake grow depending on the number of points you already have, we're gonna have to call the grow function that you made previously multiple times. And to know how many times we have to call it, we're gonna declare a variable in the condition in the game loop function. So to declare a variable, you write
Before we start
var.
sorry, before we start Rubenis, can we restart from the beginning? Some people have some
What?
issue.
Explain everything we've done?
Yes.
Okay. So in the function game loop, the first thing we do is call the function game.snake.move that will allow the snake to move. After that, we check if the next block is an apple. In case it's an apple, we remove it. We increment the score by 1. We make the snake grow, and we add another apple on the map. Then we have the keepRest function. This one will be responsible of making the snake change direction depending on the key you pressed. So to do so, we write and the different cases are the different key of your keyboard. So if I remember well, case 37 is to go left, and so 37 to go left, 38 to go up, 40 to go down, and 39 to go to the right. Is that good?
Thank you.
So we go back to the bonus now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna declare a variable. So you write var, and we're gonna name it repetition. And it's equal to the game. You make it equal to game dot score divided by 3. And then we are gonna make a loop. So to make a loop, you write for parenthesis I equals 0, semicolon, I less or equal than repetition, semicolon, I plus equal 1. Then you exit the parenthesis and you open bracket. And inside the bracket, you're gonna call the function game.snake.grow. And you're gonna delete the line 7 because we don't need it anymore. And now we can run the snake to see how it works.
I hope, guys, you are better than me in this game because I didn't get more than 2. So is it okay for everyone, or we need to repeat anything?
Maybe just for the summary, because we see there are some children who are having issues. Edgar, can you hear me? Can you just summarize every coding line, please? And the people who are over the chat, if they can copy the coding links, the coding lines to the students who are struggling.
Yeah, so Edgar, can you hear me?
All right, so right here, we have the function called game loop, which moves the snake at line number 2 and checks if the next block is equal to the index 2, which corresponds to an apple, as we can see in the doc. And then in that if statement, we see, so we remove the block, we remove the apple, and then we add 1 to the score on the top left of the canvas. And then after all that is done, we add another apple randomly inside of the canvas. After that, we have the bonus, which in which we declare a variable called repetition, and it was equal to the score on the top left divided by 3. Right under that, we have a loop, which is set to be equal to 0 at first, and while it is less than the repetition, we increment it by 1. And inside that loop, we increment the size of the snake every single time. Next up, we have the key pressed. So, as we've seen earlier, we have a switch inside of it, which in it contains the key code. The key code is represented by the cases, which are representatives of the direction of the snake. So as we've seen in the table, we can move in different directions using the cases. So 37 will be left, for example, and 38 will be up, and so on. When we execute those commands or those switch commands, we change the snake's direction according to the direction of the case value. So for 37, which is left, we would set the snake direction to 3, which is equivalent to the left direction.
Okay, guys, is it more clear? Okay, we can continue with Sebastian that will learn us how to do a collision with the snake with itself. So, Sebastian, are you here?
So for the second part of the bonus, we are gonna make sure the snake doesn't collide with itself. So to do so, we will have to check every time we try to move if you do not go in the opposite direction. So inside the switch in the function keypress, in each case, we're gonna add a condition. To do so, you write if between parentheses snake dot direction different than the opposite one. So in case 37 we go left, so the opposite would be right, which is 1. And we will have to, in this case, you you set the direction No. Yeah, yes, in this case, you can change the direction. So the line 22 is gonna be in the condition. And now we have to do the same thing for every case. So case 38, it's gonna be up. So write the same line, snake dot direction different than 2, which is down. And in this case, snake dot direction equals 0. So for the case 40, it's gonna be if snake dot direction different than 0, and the snake dot direction equal to. And for the last case, if snake dot direction different than 3, snake dot direction equals 1. And you can try it. Now you can't go in opposite direction and can't collide with yourself.
Tell me, guys, on the chat, what's your score? What's your height score? And if you are better than me, or oopsie. So that's work. The collision is working. So thank you guys for this, for your attention. And tell me if you have questions.
Can you
Or
show the code?
sorry, yes. Sorry. So tell me if you have questions, or do you want us to clarify a part of code or repeat the explanation? So I see that there are parts which is not clear. Could you specify which part so we can repeat it, please? Okay, so we have, as Edgar and many of the MITs have said before, so we have two functions right here. We have a function which is called game loop, and this function allows the snake to move, to make all the different actions that we have. And we have the second function, which is called keep rest. So this functions have made function, but not. So yes, it's a very good questions. We have made two functions, but where we call them. So we put it for you. We call them for you. So you are only you only want to code inside these functions, but we already coded the rest of code for you. So we did it for you. We simplify the code for you, so you don't have to code them anywhere. So I see that there is people that wants the code. I don't know if it's possible to send code in YouTube. It's so I think that we can send it by mail after the. Also, you have the corrections. The MIT put you the correction link on the chat, so you can click on it to have the correction. Okay. It's very small. Okay, do you want? Let me know if it's better like this. And each part of code you want me to zoom on, like the first function or the second function?
Let's do one thing. If Edgar, you still hear me, then I propose, Veronia, you surline all the coding lines that Edgar will explain once again. So maybe we can start with Edgar explaining the whole code. Thank you, Edgar.
Okay, so going back to the first line, we have a function called game loop, which iterates over and over while the game is running. And we have a function that's called, which is game snake move, which advances the snake forward. And then back down to line number 4, we check if the next block is an apple by checking if its index is equal to the apple. After that, inside of the if statement, we remove the apple if we interact with it and add 1 to the score, as we can see on the line number 6. And then after that, we add a new apple randomly inside of the map for the snake to have another apple to go to. Under that, we have a declaration of variable which is equal to the game score divided by 3, and we iterate a loop less than the repetition variable by adding 1 to I every single time and making the snake grow every single time. Now if we go back down and look at the function called key pressed, we have a switch case which defines which key we're pressing on our keyboard. We do that with every single case being related to a variable connected to a direction. And as we saw previously, 37 was equal to left, 38 was equal to up, and so on. Now, inside of the switch case, we have an if statement to make sure that the snake doesn't go back on itself. So when we change the direction with the switch case, we make sure that our direction, for example, isn't we're trying to go down when we're going up, so that the snake doesn't collide with itself. And then we change the direction inside of the if statement. This process is repeated 4 times for all 4 directions, using all the direction equivalent in the cases and all the snake directions to move the snake.
Edouard, what is the direction for down? What is the case for down? For down?
The case direction for down, for the direction it would be 2, and for the case direction being the key being pressed, it would be 40. So if we press the down key being equal to 40 in key code, the snake direction would be equal to 2 only if we weren't going up, being the snake direction is 0.
Thank you. Veronia, you can continue. Give this.
Yeah, so is it clear for you? We can go to the certificates, or do you need more explanation?
Maybe we can explain one more time. Veronia, do you want to explain one more time, step by step?
Yeah, sure. So here, as Edgar already said, we have two functions. The first function, which is called game loop. This functions at the first line. We let the snake move, and then if it's a condition. So here the condition is the next block equals to 2, and 2 it means an apple. So if the next block equals to 2, so if the snake touch the apple, so what will happen? So we want the apple to be removed, so we're gonna remove block. So we write game dot remove block next block. So we're gonna remove the apple, and then we're gonna increase the score with +1. So if it's 0, it's gonna be 0 plus 1, so it's gonna be 1. If it's 2, so it's gonna be 2 plus 1, it's gonna be equals to 3. And then we want to add an apple, and then we declare a variable which is called repetition, and this variable, it's equals to game.score divided by 3, and then a loop or for. So we write e equals to 0. So in the beginning, e will be equals to 0, and then in each time, I will be increased by 1. So it's gonna be I plus equals to 1, so it's gonna be 1. So 1 plus equals to 1, it's gonna be 2, and this until I it's smaller or equal to repetition. So sorry. So yeah, and then the game snake will grow. So at the beginning, if you remember, the snake the snake had 2 blocks at the beginning, and in each time the snake grows. So this line allowed the snake to grow up, and then we have the second function which is called keep rest. And in this function, sorry, we have the switch condition. So the switch it takes the key code. So the key code, what is it? So do you know the top the up arrow of your keyboard? So here we have the key code of the arrows of our keyboards. So 37, which means the left side, the left arrow of your keyboard. When I click on the left side of the keyboard, what happened? So here the snake directions equals to 3. So 3 for the snake, it's the left. Okay. So and this conditions what it does. So if snake dot direction not equals to 1, so 1 it's the opposite of the left, so it's the right side. So yeah, so here if I click on the left arrow of my keyboard and the direction of the snake, it's not on the right side, the direction, the snake will move to the left side in the map 1 point, okay? And this for all the cases. So the case 38, it means that I pressed on the up arrow of my keyboard. So 38, it's equals to up, the arrow up of my keyboard. 40, it's equals to the down arrow of my keyboard, and 39 is equals to the right button, the right arrow of my keyboard. And in each case, so we have different conditions. For 38, we have to check if the snake direction it's not equal to the down direction, and if it's not equal to the down directions, the snake gonna move to the up directions, because the snake direction up it's equals to 0. So in this way, the snake gonna move up for 1 box. So and here in case 40, so 40 it means down. In this case, we want to ensure that the snake direction is not equal to up, and if it's not equals to up, the snake gonna go down for 1 box, for 1 block, and the same for the last part. So if we pressed on the right arrow of my keyboard, what will happen? So we're gonna check that the snake direction it's not equal to the left, and if it's not equal to the left, the snake direction it will be equals to right. So 1. Is it more clearer now? So if you want the correction of what we did today, the MITs put the link on the chat, so you can click on the link and you will have all the code that we have written today. So is it clear, or we need to repeat one more time?
We are just checking the chat. Any other questions for the code? Any question from students? Please let us know in the YouTube chat if you don't understand anything, and we will explain again.
And tell us also your score, your highest score that you did. It's going to be interesting.
We are checking the YouTube chat, YouTube live chat. Any question? We have simplified the code for you. So you just code the main coding line to make the snake work. I see some questions in this direction in the chat. Yes, we are not letting you to build the whole snake because it takes many hours. Now you are making the main coding lines to make the snake work. And I see there is someone who got 18 in score. Who got better than 18? Let us know in the chat. As you can see, Veronia is very bad. She just got 5. So let's do better than Veronia.
Oh, 8.
Okay, great. Everyone is better than Veronia, I see. Who got 50, 60, maybe more?
Who got more than 18?
Yeah, who got more than 18?
5, okay. Same. Thank you. Thank you being here.
I Anushri has a maybe more? No? Okay, I think Sunil is the best right now. He got 18. Wow, congratulations, Sunil.
18 also, yeah.
Okay, now let's move to the certificate. Please, students, pay some attention now. And I will ask the whole E-mma team to copy the links in continue for the certificate in the chat. I think, Veronia, you are sharing your screen, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So please, students, pay attention. Listen to us. It's time to get your certificate. If you haven't finished the coding yet, it's okay. You will have more time after, but first, take your certificate and we will continue discussing together. So click on the certificate.e-mma.org link we have shared in the YouTube live chat to you. Please click on the link. We are showing you also the link on the screen and in the chat. Please click on the link. I hope everyone is okay and can click on the link. When you click on the link, you will arrive on this page. We are showing you on the screen. And write your first name and last name and the code, the workshop code, which is Snake 2024. We have written it in the chat also, in the YouTube live chat. So don't forget to write your first name, second name, and the workshop code Snake 2024. To go on the certificate page, click on the link in the YouTube live chat. I hope all is good. And when you did it, you click on submit and you will get your certificate with your name. We give you 1 or 2 minutes to do it. So I explain again, get your certificate. Even if you haven't finished the coding yet, it's okay. You can continue coding after, or you can also send us your code. We can correct your code, no problem. But for the moment, take your certificate, click on the certificate.e-mma.org link, which is in the YouTube live chat. And you enter your first name, your last name, and the workshop code, which is Snake 2024, without any space, Snake 2024, and click on submit. And then you will have your certificate with your name as Veronia is showing you on the screen. And you can download by clicking on download my certificate button. You can download your certificate. Is everything good? Veronia, let's go back to the slides while they are taking their certificate. So I remind you should take your certificate. And please, students, listen to us. We want to see you code. We want to see you with your certificate, please send us your pictures. Use the hashtag code at home on Instagram, on Facebook. You can also tag the Instagram of E-mma, the Instagram and the Facebook of E-mma, or you can share over email your pictures to us. The pictures, your own pictures or your classroom pictures doing coding, please share over the social network, or you can send us an email at codeathome@emma.org. Please share your pictures. Yes, I added the email address in the chat. Share your pictures at codeathome@emma.org email address. And don't forget, very important, we are gonna have new coding session every time, every month. So the next session will be on 29 November. You will code a doodle jump in JavaScript. And then on the 13th December, you might know Pac-Man. We will code a Pac-Man. And on the 31st January, we will code a Flappy Bird. So I suggest you and your teachers and your principal and your classes to subscribe to the next coding workshop. Please click on the register link in the YouTube chat. We are just sharing with you. Yes, you should have the link in the chat now. Register to the upcoming coding workshops, please. Don't forget to register, ask your teachers, your principal, and share to other students. Share with us your pictures also. Maybe Veronia, you can go back to the previous slide. Share with the pictures, please. You can share over email. Maybe Veronia, you can refresh, the share your picture slide. I have added the email address, perfect, so everyone can see. In case you don't see in the chat, please share your pictures on the following email address, codeathome@emma.org. Your classroom pictures when you're coding, when you are having your certificate, etc. And don't forget to take your certificate, please.
The workshop code is Snake 2024, and it's a capital S for snake. I see somebody on the chat who is asking that.
I see Tanushri is asking if she can leave. Yes, you can, but don't forget to share your pictures and register to the next coding workshop, Tanushri. We will be waiting for you and get your certificate. This is the last thing you have to do. Thank you for all the students for attending. Next workshop, 29 November. You can change the slide. Thank you, Veronia. 29 November, register to the next workshop and continue learning coding with us. And we will bring more and more great coding content for you. So stay tuned and contact us whenever you have a question. You can share your coding also with us if you want us to correct the coding. If you have any error in the coding snake you did today, it's okay, no problem. Send us an email and we will correct everything. Thank you very much. Thank you, students. Thank you, teachers. Thank you all. Est-ce que vous m'entendez tous?
Oui.
Ok, on va tous aller dans le Google, on va tous aller dans le Google Meet où il y a les modérateurs juste pour débriefer 5 minutes. Attendez, je vous l'envoie dans ce chat-là, bougez pas.
T'aurais dû me prévenir avant pour que j'arrête le live.